Hi, in this video I show you how to generate a complete CRUD web application from an existing database in about 1 minute. This is the MySQL database we'll start from. We have customers, orders, products, categories, and order items. A typical sales and order management database. And this is the CRUD application we'll end up with customizable forms, automatic data validation, relationships and lookup fields, inline edit, subforms, charts, and more. Now, why are we doing this? Because sometimes you just need a clean, secure, user-friendly interface to create, read, update, and delete the data in your database. In this video, I show you how to build that interface using DaDaBIK. DaDaBIK is a no-code, low-code platform you can use to build complex web applications, typical internal tools, but it also lets you generate simple and advanced CRUD applications extremely quickly. So let's have a quick look at the database. We'll start from a MySQL database, but DaDaBIK also supports PostgresqL, Microsoft SQL Server, and SQLite. Here's a quick look at the schema. Customers with email, phone, name, orders linked to customers, products linked to categories, order items linking orders and products. So this is the database. We have 5 tables and it includes multiple relationships. Let's install DaDaBIK now. So our first step is visiting dadabik.com/trialcrud. Here you can start a 30-day free trial of DaDaBIK. You can cancel anytime. If you decide to continue after the trial, the free trial, the enterprise license is $19 per month. And there are also lifetime licenses if you prefer. After subscribing, you receive a serial number and a download link. Inside the zip file you download, you'll find a folder called Program Files. You just need to simply copy that folder wherever you want your CRUD application to run. This CRUD application we are building is a web application, so you need a web server to run it. I'm installing DaDaBIK on my laptop using MUMP, but you can install DaDaBIK almost anywhere. A hosting provider, a cloud server, or your company's server. Next, we need to configure DaDaBIK. Open the file config custom.php, which is in the include folder, and we paste there the configuration template from the online manual. So we open dadabik.com, then docs, manual, and then we move through this chapter. I recommend to read the content of this chapter. It contains some useful information, even security-related information. In this tutorial, I will just copy and paste the content of these 3 boxes. Then I will edit each parameter. My serial number, the one I got after starting the subscription, the database connection parameters with your own MySQL values, and then I will use a random sequence of characters for the secret key. It must be at least 60 characters, and session name. I also recommend enabling uploads, adding enable uploads equal to 1. This allows file uploads such as product images. Now I rename the folder to CRUD so that I can access it at localhost/CRUD. Why? Because I copied that folder in my web root. So now I can launch the installation script visiting localhost /crud/install.php. We have a few options. We choose the first one. I already have a database with some tables and I want to create a DaDaBIK application based on it. That's exactly what we want to do, right? So we choose a password for the admin user. We wait a few seconds and done. DaDaBIK is installed. Now, for security reasons, we should delete these files from our CRUD folder. Install, install2.php, and others. This is just a demo. I'm not doing that, but please do it. All right, then we can click on View the application. We log in with the user root. That's the admin user that DaDaBIK creates by default, and the password which we chose before. And here we go. Here is the generated app. Let's see what we have. Each table in our database is now a page in our application. So we have categories, customers, order items, orders, products. Let's test the CRUD capabilities and, for example, let's create a product. Create new, name my product, SKUMY, category. As we can see here, category is a lookup field. DaDaBIK automatically detected the relationship. So let me show. Here we have a list of categories, but if we add a category here, my awesome category, now in product we have this new category, right? And we can also add a new category on the fly from here. So again, my product, price, and picture. There are a couple of things we should notice here. The first one is that DaDaBIK tries to add the correct data validation to each form field. For example, price must be a numeric field, right? So if we add something like this, we get an error message that is customizable, all right? The second one is that for each field, DaDaBIK tries to use the correct form for each database field, the correct form field. So here, for example, for picture, for a field called picture, we have an upload widget which allows me to upload a picture. If you have a date field, for example, in your database, you'll have here a pop-up calendar, and so on and so forth. So let's try to create this record and also uploading a picture. Okay, we select from here the file uploaded, and here we go. This is our record. Of course, we can edit the record, so create, read, update. We can, I don't know, change the price. We also have inline edit. So, for example, we can change the price also from here. All right. So, update, delete. Well, obviously, we can delete the record just created. Okay. The data validation rules I mentioned before with price also apply in more complex cases. Let me show you an example. Let's add a new customer, Bob, email. Let's write a wrong email, so something that is obviously a wrong email address, and we get an error. Okay, so basically DaDaBIK, by reading your schema, tries to guess both the correct HTML element to use in the form and the correct data validation rule. Another little but important thing to notice. In our database, for each table, we have an auto increment ID field. So for example, the customers table had an ID field. Its value is automatically assigned by MySQL when you create a new record, right? Well, considering that the ID field is automatically hidden by default in the create form. You don't see that because it's assigned automatically. Of course, you can change that if you don't like it. And let's look at the last operation, read, CRUD, create, read, update, delete, read. Well, read is, pretty obvious. We can read data, but let's see how we can search data. You can search data in 3 ways. The first one is this one. Let's try with products maybe. This is called Omni Search. Basically, I type something here, my search here, and click here, and we get all the records containing Apple. Where? In the fields, in several fields, all the fields listed here. Okay, so this is the easiest way to search on your tables. Then we have advanced search. You click here and you have a more complex, more advanced search form. So for each field, you can choose something. You have several search operators. All right. And finally, you have quick search. We are not going to see that in this tutorial, but instead of this Omni Search, you can add here on the top of your results grid some selected fields you want to use for your quick search. Okay, let's remove the search filter now, and let me give you a very quick overview about the additional features you get apart from the CRUD capabilities. You can generate chart. For example, let's generate a bar chart aggregating data by category and showing the count. So here we see for each category how many products we have. So we can generate various kind of charts. We can use advanced SQL report. We can generate pivot table. We can import from Excel and CSV. We can export to CSV or to PDF. This front end is translated in 23 languages. You can choose the language here. For some languages, the translation is full, 100%. For some other languages, you may have missing translation. So some of the words you see around are in the default language, that is English, but you can complete the translation in your own language by just editing a very simple text file. The application is, our CRUD application is responsive, so you can use it also on your mobile device. And for example, let's open a customer form, and let's see how it looks on a phone. Here we go. This is our customer form on a phone. Okay, before moving on, let me add one important point. By default, DaDaBIK does not alter your table's schema. We are creating a CRUD interface on the top of your database, but your tables are still there, untouched. So next point is why we can just use PHPMyAdmin or a similar tool. Well, tools like PHPMyAdmin are excellent for database administrators, but not for end users. The interface is complex, not optimized for data entry and lacks usability features. DaDaBIK allows you to create simple interfaces which include only the features and the fields your users need. So let me mention some specific features that make a real CRUD application unique. First is form customization. You can customize forms, for example, reorganizing fields or adding form separators. To do that, you can use the form configurator. Let's try to do that. For example, let's try to reorganize the customer's create form. So we need to click here, edit this app. Let me first remove the browser console. Edit this app. Form configurator, table customers. Here we go, insert form. This is our form. Let's say that, let's do something easy. We just want to put first and last name on the same row, and the same for email and phone, and add a title to each section. So we click on first name, and we say that after the field in the insert form, we don't want a new line, all right? And we need a separator before this field, and we call it name. All right, name first and last. The same for email. Same for email. We don't want a new line, and we want a separator called contact info, for example. Here we go. This is a preview, but we need to save. And here we go. This is our new reorganized form. Second, additional application-specific field types. DaDaBIK includes many field types, and for each database field, you can choose the DaDaBIK field type and the content type, again, from the form configurator. Let me give you an example. Let's move to products now. Let's say we want to display our SKU as a barcode. We can do that very, very easily. So we choose products from here, and then our SKU is not displayed as text, but as it should be a barcode, and save. Here we go. A barcode representing exactly this SKU is automatically generated. Third, permissions. You can create users and user groups and define fine-grained permissions. So let's open users here. User groups. By default, we have the admin group and the default group. Of course, we can create other user groups. For example, let's say we have a group called just readers, and users belonging to this group should only have read permissions, for example. Okay, so group created from users. You should now add one or more users belonging to this readers group. I'm not going to do that, but that's what you should do. I just want to show you that again from here we are in the dev area, the area you see if you click on edit this application. Apart from the form configurator, you have several other tabs. Another important tab is permissions, and from here you can choose for each combination of table or page and group, for example products readers, the table level permissions, the row level permissions, and the field level permissions. Okay, so we can say that on table level they can just read and see the details of products. We don't add any row level permissions, and now for field level permissions, we can say that they can only see name, SKU, I don't know, price, and picture. both in the results grid and in the details. So for example, here we are saying that for some reason the category field is hidden for the reader's user group. For formula fields, exactly as in Excel, you can assign a formula to a field, which becomes a calculated field. Let me show an example. Let's add a field to the products table. A field representing, we already have the price field. We want to add a field representing price plus tax. Okay, we can add the field from outside DaDaBIK using, for example, PHPMyAdmin, and then use this DB synchro feature. But you can also add the field directly from here. And of course, in this case, we are altering the schema of the table products. So price plus tax, and it's decimal, a decimal field that can be nullable, let's say. At least for the existing records, we don't have already price plus tax, so it's correct. All right, now we can, well, let's see the products table. Now we have a price plus tax field. But this field, we don't want this field to be filled manually. We want this field to be calculated automatically by the application. For example, by adding 15% to the price. So we move once again to the form configurator, products, price plus tax. Well, I didn't show you this before, but in the form configurator, apart from field type, content type, you can change many things, including the label and other parameters that we are not going to discuss during this tutorial. Right now we are focused on the formula thing. So we need to define a formula for this price plus tax field. And the formula will be take the price with curly brackets here, we take the current value of another field in the form, in this case price, and we multiply by 1.15. Okay, let's see if it works. So first of all, as you can see, I cannot type manually a value here, and that's correct. And let's say the price is 1,000 and the price plus tax is automatically calculated, and that's correct. All right, master detail pages or subforms. DaDaBIK can handle very easily master detail forms. Let's make an example. We have a orders table here and an order items table, right? So each order can have one or more order items attached, let's say. But we would like to see when we see an order, which are the order items linked to that order, correct? And we can do that very easily. Again, through the form configurator, orders, we stay on the ID of the order, the unique field that DaDaBIK uses to identify each order, and here we attach a subform. Items table name is order items, which is the field in the order items table that tells us the related order is order ID. So we select that field, save, and here we go. For example, in this order for this customer, we have to order items. 6. Revisions. If you want to keep track of all the changes in a table, you can enable record revisions. That's only available in the Platinum edition of DaDaBIK. This helps you track misuse or anomalous behavior and ensures accountability of user actions. Let's enable it for customers and let's, for example, update an email. Okay, so let's do it. Pages, customers, we enable revisions. All right, and we change the email for this customer, sorry. Okay, show revisions. Here we go. Here we see that the user wrote on this particular date time executed an update operation, and this is the current version of the record after the operation. So let's do another couple of operation. Okay, this is an insert, a create operation, and then a delete operation. And let's see the revisions. Here we go, insert and delete. Let me discuss some other features you can use to make your application more intuitive. First, custom formatting functions. Let me give you an example. So let's say that for orders, for example, if an order is in status pending, you want to show this pending word in red. Okay? All right. Once again, form configurator, orders status, and here we can create some formatting rules in JavaScript. So we can say if value is equal to we said pending, I think, pending, then return, you need some HTML here, span style, color red, for example. Okay, plus value plus, sorry, span. Okay, else return value. So what are we doing here? We are using JavaScript to set a formatting rule DaDaBIK will use in the results grid and in the details page. So we are saying if the value of this particular field status is equal to pending, then return the value surrounding by a span tag, setting color red. Okay. Otherwise, return just the normal, the standard value without any additional formatting. Let's save and let's see if it works. All right, it works. As you can see, we have pending in red. Second, conditional fields. You can show a field only if a certain condition is verified. Again, from the form configurator, you can do that. I'm not going to show that in this tutorial, but for example, you could do very, very easily without coding something like show the discount field only for products belonging to the category tablets, for example. And the related parameter is this one, show only if conditional. Third, for more complex applications, you can add your own PHP and JavaScript custom code to implement custom logic. Your code can be triggered by a button. For example, let's say that we have orders here, and let's say you want to add a button here, a custom button that sends this data to another application you have in your information system. You can do that. So your code, your custom code, can be triggered by a custom button that you can place in several places in your application, but it can also be triggered by a specific event. For example, when a record is created in a table or when a user logs in. Finally, let me add that you are not limited to starting from an existing database schema, as we discussed. You also have two other options. First, you can start from a blank canvas and design your data structures directly in DaDaBIK. Second, you can start from an Excel or CSV file. In this case, DaDaBIK will automatically import your data into MySQL, PostgresqL, or any other supported DBMS, and then generate the front end exactly as shown. And that's it. We have generated a complete enterprise-ready CRUD application on top of an existing database, quickly and without writing code. If you need a production-grade interface like this for your own data, something reliable, maintained, and ready for real business use, you can start a free 30-day trial at dadabik.com/trialcrud. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao!